People say you gotta find a therapist or psychologist, or you need seeing a therapist or psychologist. But how can you find a good one? No one tells you about it. In today's video, I'm gonna answer this question. Hi everyone, my name is Kate and you are on my YouTube channel Tender Heart, on which I'm sharing with you my experiences in depression treatment. When you are searching for a therapist for the first time, it may be really confusing because you have no idea what criteria are to pay your attention to. I'm gonna start with some basic rules in this video which I think can help you to seek out a good therapist, and in the next video I'm gonna tell you how to understand whether you are already seeing a bad or a good therapist. So tip number 1 is to seek out a therapist with a long working experience at about 10 years, and pay your attention to the fact whether he has already had experience with your specific issue. For example, if you are suffering from depression, find someone who specializes on depression treatment. So don't be afraid to ask a therapist about his education and working experience. Tip number 2 is that a good therapist doesn't give you certain advices how to communicate with other people or how to live this life and so on. For example, if you come to the conclusion that some of your relationships are toxic, you ask your therapist whether you gotta communicate with this person or not. The answer of a good therapist or psychologist might be like, it's your choice, or you gotta decide yourself. I hope you understand what I mean. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in comments below. Tip number 3 is to think about the gender of a therapist, whom you'll be easier to speak with, a woman or a man, and whom you could trust more. Tip number 4 is to remember that high price is not a guarantee of high quality. But again, if you see that price is too low, be careful. So the main idea of the tip number 4 is that high or low price can't be a sign of a good or bad therapist. You'd better pay your attention to other criteria. And remember that high price is not a guarantee of high quality services. Tip number 5 is to ask your friends and relatives. Maybe they have already gone through therapy and can tell you the contacts of a good specialist. To my mind, word of mouth is the best way to seek out a good therapist. But again, make sure that your friend has recovered from your problem. For example, if you have depression, ask someone who has recovered from his depression. Or if you have an eating disorder, find someone who has successfully overcome it with his therapist. And here we come back to tip number 1, that you gotta find a therapist who has already had experience in your specific issue, in treatment of your specific issue. It's like we won't seek out a Spanish teacher when we are going to learn Italian language, will we? And it's the same with seeking out a psychologist or a therapist. So here are my thoughts on this question. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell not to miss my following video on how to check yourself in 3 steps whether you are already seeing a good or a bad therapist. And remember, everything will be okay. You're not alone. The entire universe loves you. See you in next videos. Bye.